For all people, we are at the Skyline Hotel Sheraton here in London, right?
Yeah. We're here to speak to Cobhams Asuquo, the one and only producer, entertainer, musician, inspirational person. So, you know, it's a privilege for FACTORY78 TV. His first appearance here. So that's what we're doing.
Exactly. And we want to say big shout out to everybody that voted for us, all the viewers, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everybody.
And all the nominees as well, because all the categories, especially the ones we were nominated in, the Best Online TV, Best Presenter and TV Personality, had fantastic nominees. So, you know, it's an honor to be part of those. And yeah, thank you very much.
And we are here to shut it down one more time. Cobhams Asuquo is going to be here with us in a few minutes. We're going to be talking to him. FACTORY78.com.
What's up, everybody? My name is Cobhams Asuquo, and you're watching FACTORY78 TV.
This is FACTORY78 TV. We're live, an exclusive interview with another African icon, a Nigerian to be exact, Mr. Cobhams Asuquo, an entertainer, musician, music producer, an all-round good egg. How you doing, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, sir?
Not bad at all. We had to come out here and meet you like we usually do when people come out to the UK. We come out and speak to you because we've been hearing a lot about you for years now. So to be in the presence of Cobhams Asuquo, you know, the great one, like Banky W said, it's an absolute honor. How was your trip coming down?
It was very well. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's fine. my trip was good, very, very good. I loved it, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I introduced you as a musician, a producer. Let's take it back. For a lot of people that are meeting Cobhams Asuquo, we've heard your beats for quite some time. We've heard the music that you've helped produce for quite some time. So this might be the first time people actually see and hear from the horse's mouth how the journey started. No way.
I can live with that. That's fine. I've been called worse names.
So, Mr. Cobhams, tell us, how did you get into the music industry? Where did that fire come from?
In a lot of senses, I think I was born to be a musician. I think I was born to express myself through music. I think I was born to use music as a tool, as a driving force to make my mark or say what it is that, you know, I've been called to say, to establish my purpose here on earth. And I think I started music first of all by puffing my cheeks and trying to play the 12-bar blues when I was about 5-6, and it progressed. You know, a friend of mine, and you know, I hate to say this, but it's the truth, a friend of mine, Lanre, wrote to me, stole his sister's piano and brought it to me, and so I started to learn how to play with that, and I hope she's forgiven us now, because I mean, look what it's made of me. Anyways, I proceeded from there on to play for the Catholic Church as an organist at the age of 9. So I was playing the organ and, you know, playing like hymnals and classical pieces and stuff like that, you know, as I progressed. I think my entry to the music industry, I got it. I had been creating materials for advertising agencies, but then, you know, the whole story began when I met Big Bamo, you know, from Maintain, you know, who decided to give me a chance to, you know, produce some of their songs, and you know, then I did Catch Cold and a couple other things, and you know,
I Catch Cold.
That's correct. I guess it just started from there. I met Phase of the Plantation Boys. I met a couple other people who just thought, you know, my sound was different at the time, and I yearned for a different sound. I'd heard a lot of music, and I wanted the music that I heard represented, you know, in my country, you know, with our indigenous sound, you know, blended into it. I wanted a certain quality of music instituted into, you know, the system, and there were the likes of Paul Play Diarrhea and OJB who were doing that, you know, at the time. So I guess I just rode on their wings and on their shoulders and found my way to the industry pretty much.
Now, you signed for Question Mark. Was that as a musician or as a producer or a writer?
I was an in-house producer and writer. Yes, with Question Mark for about a year. It was a very interesting time of my life, quite honestly. Yeah, but that's a time I'm grateful for.
And that was where you met a couple of people. Like, was that where the union between yourself and Asha came to be as well?
I actually, I know regretfully in a sense, I actually took Asha to Question Mark, quite honestly, because both of us had been friends before, you know, Question Mark came into the scene. A friend of ours, a mutual friend, Janet, who later went on to become Asha's best friend and manager, introduced us, brought us together, and then Muyiwa Majek, her then manager, was interested in me working with her and all that. So we got together, and then, when Question Mark came in the scene, it was the next big thing for all of us. So, I mean, we literally just scampered there like little rats, looking for cheese. So we were in there, until that was a transition point of our lives, and then we moved on. Asha moved on to Naive in France. I moved on to start my own business, which is Cobhams Asuquo Music Productions, and
in the press here, especially when you're reading stuff online on the internet, we found information that you also work with Sony Music International. What is that like authentic, or is that just internet chatter?
I was signed onto Sony ATV, which is the publishing arm of Sony Music, in November 2005 as a songwriter. And I have worked, with Sony ATV in that capacity for years. So it isn't internet chatter. It's not chatter of any sort. I was with Sony ATV, and yeah.
Now, one aspect of your sound or your talent that surprises a lot of people is that you have not allowed being visually impaired to disturb your productivity, to disturb your success in your industry or your line of work. Tell us the inspiration behind that and how you channel such energy to be useful, especially for millions of people around the world that listen to the music that you help produce.
I think my inspiration is straight and simple: God. I think God is the source of, every form of inspiration. Whether or not we choose to admit it, it doesn't change the fact. So I'm inspired by God through various means and through different people. I think that if we were to look at it, we all have one form of we have our different forms of shortcomings or impairments or disabilities. For instance, I don't know that you can play golf, can you?
No.
Great. So there we have
you
it.
You can play the organ as well.
Well, yes. I mean, you can learn. You know what I mean? And I mean, who's to say that technology in the next 15, 20 years will not make it possible for me to play golf? So I think it's taking advantage of what you can do, and you're focusing on what you can do rather than what you can't do. Because in truth, there's a lot that if we were to find out, we all can't do. But at the same time, there's so many things that we can do. I think for me, I've just decided to focus on the things that I can do, and I've observed that there are a lot that I can do. And just practice, trust, and I mean trust in God. The sky's my starting point. So I think that drives me. Plus, I'm a very positive person, and I've seen results from a number of the things that I've done, and results encourage you. I mean, it's like growing faith. You plant a seed and you just watch it grow, and as it grows into a tree, it gives you the nerve, the audacity, for want of a better word, the effrontery to try bigger things. So I think that's what it is for me. I think I've seen my little things yield results, and then that's just sort of urged me on, to try bigger things. Yeah.
Now, another interesting fact is for music producers, especially today now, music producers now in the United States, R&B, hip hop, they usually have one genre that they've listened or learned from. But looking at your work and reading stuff about you, I saw things from, classical music. You said something about the church, and you also did with Akbala music as well. What were your influences when it came to production and music in general?
I think we as human beings are products of influence in general. Yeah, I think we're products of influence, and I've allowed myself to be influenced by so many varying opinions, sides, ideologies, divides, call them what you will. For instance, you just talked about Akbala. There was a time in my life when I was listening to AaronTAaron and Musliu Shala and Ayinla Omowura and Atawewe and the likes. There have been times in my life when I listened to underground hip hop like Guru and Talib Kweli, Mos Def, what's his individual's name? Lupe Fiasco, Nas, and the likes. Come on, yeah. I've listened to everyday music, Rihanna, Jay-Z, Beyonce. I've been influenced by Dr. Dre, Timbaland, the likes. I've listened to classical music from Tchaikovsky to Ravnovsky to Rachmaninoff to Strauss to Stradivari to Bach to Mozart and the likes. I could go on and on. Jazz, Dave Grusin, Joe Sample, Marcus Miller, Diane Reeves. I love music. And I have allowed myself to be influenced by the various, genres of music I've listened to. I mean, the Steel Paws, Leroy, Bob Marley, Damien, Ziggy Marley, the whole Marley family, Peter Tosh and all of that, as far as reggae is concerned. So, I mean, I've allowed myself to be influenced by music, and my family, played a very, very integral role in that happening. My father loved music. He played a lot of Jimmy Cliff and Ken Lazarus and all of that, and the bass really just drove me. So, I think these are some things that have influenced me and have moved me into the different genres of music that I'm able to express. I think, we are creatures who are able to sort of mimic, and then in some cases, for those who are smart enough to improve on, that mimicry. That's how we learn to talk. That's how we learn to work. That's how we learn to interact, and that's why we go to school, to gain the knowledge that others have gained. Some of us just take it a step further and improve on it and come up with inventions as a result. And I think that, I try my best to put myself in that category, on that pedestal. It's not easy, but I mean, that's what it is.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm in school right now. I've gone through hip hop, R&B, underground rap. I've gone through jazz, akpala music. What in the world? This is Cobhams Asuquo, one of Nigeria's finest music producers and musicians. I'm sure a lot of people out there would like to know, Cobhams, who out there in the Afrobeat scene or internationally are you feeling right now when it comes to the music?
Internationally, do you mean the African circuit or?
First of all, international act.
Wow, that's tough. That's
on the spot right here.
That's very, very tough.
Yes.
Who am I feeling?
Yes.
Which international act am I feeling right now? I don't know. There are quite a number of African acts who, in my mind, I consider international because I think they're breaking, into that circuit. I'm definitely feeling Asha. I'm feeling Zamajobe. This new. Well, I think she's. I don't know. Is she international? I hope she is. I think she is. I just met her a few days, and I am absolutely loving her music. She's called Ntabi Seng. She's from South Africa. I'm feeling her stuff. I think Lagbaja is an international musician by all standards, and he's a major influence in my life, and I feel his stuff. Who am I feeling? I don't have a favorite person. I've moved at different times of my life from Don Moen to Fred Hammond to Donnie McClurkin. By the way, Don Moen is someone I have a lot of regard for. A lot of regard for. So I don't know that there's any international act that I can mention whose name, comes to mind. I mean, they're a number. They're a healthy number of them.
Well, with the names you've mentioned, I'm sure a lot of people can see that there are like similarities to the artists that you mentioned. First of all, there are conscious musicians that either play an instrument or two or more, serious vocalists. So basically what you're trying to say is a credible musician.
Music is an art. No matter how much you commercialize it, it is important to commercialize it so that it has sellability, so that you're not speaking a language that is ambiguous to everyone else. But music still remains an art. There is something that distinguishes a Caravaggio painting or a Leonardo da Vinci painting or whatever painting from just any everyday bubblegum graffiti or regular work of art. Music is an art, and I think that sacredness, that thing that makes it music, should be respected, and I respect it because that's why I do music. And I respect other artists who for whatever reason bend in that tilt in that direction. Yeah,
absolutely. That's fantastic. You're here in the UK. You're performing tomorrow with one of Nigeria's finest gospel acts. I'm just gonna say
Aaron right there.
Aaron. Are you performing on stage tomorrow?
Yes. Performing is a word I'm a bit hesitant to use when I think of myself doing what I feel like I've been called to do, which is sharing the word of God with people through music and just encouraging people and just inspiring people. It's a ministry. You're ministering to hearts. You're reaching out to people. You're changing someone's opinion, being a part of the process that changes someone's life. So ministering in my mind is more appropriate. And yes, I am ministering tomorrow with AaronTAaron. I'm excited because this is someone who I have met and I have sat down and I have spoken with him countless times, and he has such a heart for God that is amazing, especially in these times when you really don't know. I mean, I can't say everyone, but a lot of people just sort of prevaricate, for want of a better word. I don't know what word can describe it without putting me in trouble, but a lot of people are prevaricates of sorts, where they say these things that are not necessarily true, about their faith, about their way of life, about all that stuff. But Aaron, for me, is someone who I can trust. I've received invitation from countless people to come to the UK and do this, but for me, it's important that the heart is right. Do you understand? Because you will face the consequences of your actions at the end of the day. So Aaron is someone who I'm so humbled and so encouraged to be doing this with, and everyone else as part of his team, from Goziem, who I used to know way back in secondary school, to Lisa McClendon, whose music, I listen to and I just feel the depth and the soul, to Muyiwa Olarewaju, who is an undoubted, icon, and, who's just someone that, we all respect and, we think is great. So it's an amazing opportunity for me, and I'm excited about it. Yeah.
Speaking about the heart, you just been married a couple of months ago.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Tell us about married life, especially for someone that works so hard like yourself. You're always in the studio. You're either working with artists, producing music for yourself, or producing for other people as well. So how are you settling into married life, and how is the missus taking those long hours in the studio?
I have to say the missus is the most beautiful, the most understanding. She is special. She's special. She's completely special. And I think that's what happens when you marry right. And I don't know that any man has the wisdom to marry right, which is why, it is important that God is involved in the whole process. I went into marriage taking certain things into consideration. Number one, there is no marriage that the foundation is built on God that will not make it through. Number two, it is important that you marry your friend. Number three, it is important that you marry for the right reasons, and beauty is not exactly one of them. It may be a reason, but it is not top priority. And this has nothing to do with me not being able to see, because trust me, I have met and have known beautiful women in my life.
She's stunning.
She's absolutely amazing. I know that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So charm is deceitful, beauty is completely vain. So I think that I'm in marriage for the right reasons, and I absolutely love it. I love it. My wife inspires me. She's also come to join our business. She used to work with one of the leading telecommunications companies in Nigeria. She resigned, her position just to join, the business, which I think is a sacrifice that does not come cheap, and you don't find that these days everywhere. So I mean, as far as timing is concerned, or managing my time, I know when to work and I know when not to, no matter how busy it is, if it gets past a certain time. Because for me, family is important. I'm out of that studio and I'm with my family. I have a role to play, as a man and as the head of my family. I have a role to play, to inspire my kids, to lead them in the right direction, to teach my daughters to know how to identify the right men, to teach my sons how to be the right men, and to be there for my wife and to make her feel special. And not that I don't have children just yet, so don't start thinking.
You're speaking in the you're speaking in futuristic terms.
Yeah, so I have time for my family. So no matter how busy I get, I break away once it's time to pay attention to my family. And no matter how busy, I will get in the future, that for me is imperative. That for me is important. God is my provider. God is my sustainer. So it's not about how much I want to burn the midnight oil. I did that enough as a growing man and before I got married. So, I think it's time for me to sit back, relax, and kick it. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now.
Wow, that's Life 101. The next thing is, I can definitely see that your wife is doing a great job, because your pot belly is definitely coming out.
I need to get on that I got a treadmill. I just don't get on it. I don't know what my problem is, man. I need to get on that I converted my treadmill into a towel rack. I'll do something about that.
Now, everybody, I'm sure the people that are coming to the show tomorrow, they're going to come and see a fantastic event. AaronTAaron is a blessed artist. He sings fantastically well. You're going to be gracing the stage.
I'm touching my belly.
And people are going to see you on stage as well. They're going to. I can't wait to be there tomorrow as well. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Now, where can people get music. You were talking about your business. You didn't mention the name. I know it's a record label.
I run a business called Cobhams Asuquo Music Productions, CAMP for short. What we do is we're an all-encompassing entertainment company. Part of what we do is we discover, we nurture, and we develop talent out of Africa and introduce this talent to the international circuit. Bez Idakula is one talent that we're presently managing. He's absolutely amazing, and trust me when I say talent, I don't just speak of the gifting, because talent is not enough. Bez is an amazing person, as well as a gifted musician, amazing guitarist, songwriter, singer, and there's Phil and there's Stan Ike, who are absolutely amazing. We go out for unique and amazing people. Part of what we also do is we create content for advertising agencies. So we've worked with some of the best names. Now, obviously, because this is a TV program, I don't want to do promos, but we've worked with from food and beverage companies to telecommunications companies to banks to just general consumer product companies. We've cut across, exactly, and I'm talking the best and the biggest names out of Nigeria and out of Africa, and internationally. We've also created content for quite a number of international brands. So these are some of the things that we do as Cobhams Asuquo Music Productions.
Thank you very much. Now, people would like to follow you, get you online, perhaps your music. Where can they do that?
My music, that's interesting.
Yep.
Okay. This is what I have to say about my music. This is the moment. This is when the hits go da 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 da. Yes. I haven't said this like this before. I haven't come out to expressly say this, so I'm saying it for the first time. That I have been, I said it on Facebook and I think on Twitter, but I have been working on my album, and it's due for release next year, first quarter of next year. It's an amazing project, if I may say so myself, and it's not because I'm working on it, but because of the heart behind it and the people that are in it. It's been recorded, in my studios in Nigeria and in part in Houston and hopefully Baltimore and a couple other places. I'm working with, some of the best of hands. It's just going to be an experience. It will be simple. It might disappoint a few people because I don't know that it's a complete reflection of all the kind of stuff that I've created. It's certainly not bubblegum music. It's certainly not popular music. It's music that's out of my heart, and it's music that is meant to bring about a change and create an atmosphere. So yes, you will get that when that comes out. But if you want to follow me, follow me on Facebook. The name is Cobhams Asuquo, or follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Cobhams Asuquo. I would love to stay in touch.
Well, it's FACTORY78 TV with Mr. Cobhams Asuquo, music producer, musician, inspiration himself. Thank you very much for spending this many minutes with us.
I appreciate it.
We're looking forward to seeing you on stage tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
And the next time you come into the UK, please don't be a stranger.
I won't.
See you next time.
All right.